every day we spend 4 minutes looking after a part of our health, which actually we could survive without. What do we do for our brain? So the next question is, can you survive without your brain? No, you can't. What's the equivalent of brushing your teeth for your brain? And in a lot of cases, people don't have anything because they just, we don't think of it that way. So this is where sort of the things that we talk about for managing stress are so important. It's the brushing your teeth. It's the keeping your brain healthy. It's keeping your brain working. So no matter what those things are that people do, and it's really easy if people are sitting and listening and go, well, I don't know, how do you manage stress? Well, really simply, and I'll ask you, if we take the word stress, what's the opposite word to stress for you? What's the opposite word?
Relaxed.
Yeah, relax. That's definitely the one I would say. So I say, what's the opposite of the word stress? We say relaxation. We say calm, happiness. Okay, let's just take those three. Well, the question now becomes, what are you doing each day to bring some relaxation, calm, and happiness to your life? Because if you are doing something that's going to bring you some calm, some relaxation, and some happiness each day, then that's the equivalent of brushing your teeth for me. And this is why I think this is so important. And starting to, people think, oh, I have to meditate and all these things. Yeah, those things are great, but it doesn't have to be meditation. It doesn't have to be mindfulness, right? You could just go for a walk. You can just do some exercise. You could just call your mum, if you get on with your mum, that is, and have a good conversation with her. You call your best friend. You can go for a coffee with a friend like you did today. You saw someone you hadn't seen for a while, right? These are all the little things. These are the things that we maybe take for granted, but actually, if we recognize them as, actually, I'm doing this to help my brain, to help keep my mind healthy. Your bar, for example, bless her soul, but she used to do Sudoku, didn't she? I know
she loves Sudoku.
Yeah, a lot of elderly people love the Sudoku. And I remember asking her, like, why do you do Sudoku? And she's like, it just keeps my brain healthy. And she'd never been educated on this stuff, but she got it. She understood. And that was probably from your grandfather, because he was very much into his, reading the paper and keeping his mind active.
Oh, yeah.
Doing his exercise. He was fantastic at that, wasn't he? So yeah, stress, I think, it's going to affect all of us. It's going to affect all of us at some stage in our life. We're all going to react to it differently. And I think all we need to understand is stress is simply just the way that our body responds. It's just a response. So if it's a response and we can understand it, then we can hopefully go some way to try and control it.
Yeah. I think I didn't really think of myself as feeling stressed before the pregnancy with our lifestyle, but I'm sure there's definitely an element of it. And we were trying our best to control and prevent it. I mean, we got the Champneys membership. I was going 3 times a week, like swimming and relaxing, and all of that helped. Been meditating, doing bits of yoga here and there. So there's definitely things that we've been doing to support my mental health. But at the end of the day, when you add in a pregnancy, plus I was studying to become a prescriber at the time of the pregnancy, and then when you add medical issues, which are unexpected and very difficult to manage because they are quite out of my control. The insomnia, we did so many things to try and reverse it, but we came to the conclusion that it's definitely 100% hormonally related to the pregnancy. And every healthcare professional I saw said that I just needed to accept that it was going to be part of my life for the moment. And with the diabetes, there's nothing that I could have done to prevent that from happening to me. It's all related to the placenta and the hormones that stop your insulin from working like efficiently. So accepting that took me months, right? I was so angry that my sugars were out of control, and feeling out of control is not an enjoyable experience, which also then kind of impacted my stress. But there was a moment, it was when I had that conversation with Nilesh when he came round. And he always sparks a little bit of thought in my brain when I have conversations with him, because he always takes the time to really dig deep
He
into.
challenges you.
Yeah, I love that guy. And that conversation then got me to start regular meditation rather than ad hoc whenever I felt like it. And I did consistently for 60 plus days, but within 10 to 14 days, I was getting an extra 1 to 2 hours of sleep, and I actually emotionally felt so much more in control. And I felt a lot happier, a lot more at ease with what I was dealing with. In fact, at work, people actually said that I looked better. My boss noticed that my kind of like my happiness score had gone back up to, you know, not 100%, but let's say 75%, because normally I'm really happy at work, and the lack of sleep and the fatigue was just draining me. So I'd come to work looking probably really deflated and feeling really deflated, but getting on with what I needed to do. So she had made a comment that I looked a lot better, and I was like, actually, you know, I downloaded this app called Balance, and I've been using their meditation techniques, and it's really making a difference. She downloaded it and has been using it ever since. So that, you know, really impacted me. So it definitely adds value, right? I was using the meditation every day before bedtime, and then when I wake up in the night, sometimes I was using it again to try and help me to fall back asleep. Some days it worked, some days it didn't, but that change in emotional health was really important for me.
Yeah, the meditation definitely. I noticed the difference straight away when I've been consistent with it. It's so powerful. And yeah, I think you're right. You said something there about accepting. I think that's the first step, isn't it? It's about accepting where we are with our health. Again, what's in our control, right?
I know.
It's not in your control, right? Yes, you can manage your diet. Yes, you can do that. But if your placenta and your pancreas and all these things are doing all these things, right? We can't control it. So, and it's frustrating. I get it. It's frustrating because I get frustrated when my shoulder's hurting. You know, I get frustrated when I can't go for a run, or my back's hurting and I can't lift weights and all these things. But I can't control them on any given day. I just have to focus on what I can do. And what am I in control of when I wake up each morning? Well, it's whether I decide to eat some vegetables that day, whether I decide to go do some exercise or go for a walk or do my skipping, and whether I decide to take some time for myself and you know look after my mental health. And I think that can take time. It can take time to get to that. I still struggle with it. We all struggle with it, but it's getting better. It's getting better, and I think, you know, for me anyway, the journaling has definitely helped. Just the writing of things down, just recognizing the wins, and actually that's been the biggest thing for me. That's helped me is just recording the successes in the day. So I keep I haven't got my notepad, it's over there, but I keep a little tally. I just do a little tally each day of how many people I've spoken to. So just little ticks. And at the end of the day, I look at the tally, and no matter how the day's gone, I remind myself and say to myself, or Sunjay, and I sometimes write this down. I say, Sunjay, today you've helped 75 people to improve their health. You've done a good thing. And I don't